find one play call or another during the given game that's one that kind of feels a little bit different. One play call might stand out. There's many play calls that you can kind of go to. This week, there's one that definitely stands out that's one above all else, an easy one to go to, and that's going to be the Leonard Williams interception. But let's take a look at that play call that hit just a little bit different.
This one hit different.
And this week, we're going to be taking a look at the Leonard Williams interception. And the Leonard Williams interception is a great interception. His pick, his ability to tip the ball up into the air to himself, to then go house that ball to get to 17.5 miles per hour as a man who weighs 320 pounds is insane. That's the longest return for a defensive lineman in NFL history. All of that part is crazy and cool, and he deserves to be lauded in every way for getting that part done. But what set the stage for that pick was the scheme and the designs of this individual play from a defensive standpoint to set that stage up. This is a 3rd and 7 on this play. 3rd and 7. And you guys have no doubt seen this pick over and over again, but you probably haven't seen the all-22 angle on this, where when you look at this alignment, as I've said many times on doing these kind of play calls, you tell me what the coverage is. You tell me what's going to happen pre to post snap. That's not cover 2, is it, out there? You've got your 2 safeties sitting to the back edge of this situation here. You can see on my cursor, 2 safeties are sitting back here right next to each other. You got press coverage all across the board. You've got a blitz look from the high side, but Devin Witherspoon's going to end up being the blitz guy from the low side. So you're giving Aaron Rodgers a lot to process here pre-snap, and nothing in that is automatic. He probably thinks, I think this is man coverage, but he doesn't know if it's man coverage for sure. Probably just, you're guessing in this scheme. But let's run it a few times, give you guys a feel for the play just in how it looks. I'm not going to run it all the way back with his run back. You guys have seen that part before. Plenty, I'm sure. But let me just run this a couple different ways to you. And notice how, what I want you to watch with this with Aaron Rodgers is how quick his decision-making is from point A to point B on this. And I've looked at the other all-22 angle on this from the end zone angle, and he never looks over to the left side. It may be a little bit of a question in your mind as you're watching this. Does he ever look left? No. He predetermines before the snap he is going right with this ball all the way. Why do I think this is important? Because of the fact that Mike Macdonald is forcing this. He's forcing Aaron Rodgers to think about this play in a certain way, to predetermine what he wants to do with the ball, to then have the best result happen, be it an interception. Does Macdonald know this is going to be a pick? No. But in my opinion, almost from start to finish on this play, he's forcing Aaron Rodgers' eyes and he's forcing Aaron Rodgers' throw to where he wants the throw to go to. And why I really believe this is because watching that other all-22 angle, when Rodgers never looks up here at the high side of the screen, Tariq Woolen comes up and press, he says that's game over. And he's got Jenkins here outside of the right shoulder of Tariq Woolen to take on the running back when he goes out into a flat route or whatever route he's looking to run. So in that determination pre-snap to Rodgers, along with the threat of the blitz, which Rodgers is very readily aware of, that possibility here. That's why he's getting this throw out so fast. He makes this determination that this has got to get to a hot route read very quickly. And then it just becomes which is the hot route. And I think part of the reason why he doesn't go to this first guy top screen on the press is, number one, he doesn't trust him to get off the press of Tariq Woolen. But number two, it's more of a longer developing route. His quickest route here is going to be to Wilson, kind of in that middle point between the outside receiver and the slot with Davante Adams. He's going to run a slant right up the field like this. Straight slant, no getting upfield, just completely run it at that sort of diagonal route there. And then you've got Davante Adams with a little bit of a longer developing route. But the Seahawks, with these 2 safeties post-snap, have made Rodgers have to not almost instantaneously take Davante Adams out of the play, because they have a strange kind of bracket coverage where he's going to come up the field and you've got a hawk on either side of him to deal with him. So it comes down to Wilson. And why does he throw it? Because he sees, I think, as soon as the snap comes in, he feels Witherspoon starting to close off that side as a blitzer. So he's feeling him close as a blitzer, being Witherspoon. And Witherspoon's late purposefully, because why? They want to set this up to make Rodgers feel like it's coming from up here. Make him feel like the blitz is coming from up here, then you send it from here, and then he's trying to throw into a hot that doesn't exist. That's what you ideally want to do. Rodgers does, I think, at the very last second pick this up. He predetermines he's going to throw this thing all the way, and he's doing what you're supposed to do as a quarterback, which is throw into the blitz. But this is that flavor, that spice, that little bit of extra that Macdonald gives you in the defense versus other defenses in this situation, where you might be blitzing the safety, but you're not going to be zone blitzing the 2 defensive tackles here. You've got both Jaron Reed and Leonard Williams are your inside guys here dropping out. So if that was a hot to the top side, if there was some hot that could land there, you had Jaron Reed to clean that up. You've then taken Leonard Williams here, and he's sliding where? Right into the slant. So as you see with Davante Adams, look at him getting up the field there. You can see you got bracket coverage on the two of them. 12 here is running a slant on the backside. They're kind of running double slants here. So you got slant here, and then you've got Davante Adams going up the field right into the bracket. So Aaron's got to go, okay, the bracket eliminates Davante. That's not basically, it is double coverage at that point. I got Witherspoon blitzing, so I should have a free hole right here to where I can hit this with Wilson running that nice route that we've got to counter this blitz. But you've got Leonard coming down, reading his eyes all the way, being Aaron Rodgers, and he's closing on that route every step of the way because they understand the Seahawks and the alignment of the Jets by how they set this up, because this is a kind of route that they go to, I'm sure, before many times on tape, that this is the route that they'll drive to on that hot when they go to that backside. If he's not going to go front, if he goes over here, they're going to probably try to target Wilson after you have Davante run it off. So Davante to run off the coverage initially, Wilson to come underneath. But the whole play is thrown into disarray by the fact that you're blitzing, you're zone blitzing out. You've got a lot of moving parts on either side. Watch Tariq Woolen at the top of this. Part of also what this does is you have Aaron Rodgers so jumpy on this play, and you get his eyes to completely ignore the high side of the field here, that he never sees the fact that though Reek gets a really nice press, he falls on his ass. He straight falls on his ass. But because Rodgers has predetermined the fact that he doesn't have a lot of time to throw on this particular play, he's predetermined where he wants to go throw the hot route read. He never takes a look and sees. He would have had time. If he dropped back, he's got a clean pocket here. So he didn't have to be this rushed. Seahawks are dropping plenty of guys back in coverage. At the end of the day, you're only bringing 3. You're only bringing 3. But you got him so sure by what he has seen pre-snap and where he needs to then go with it. Force them to predetermine where they want to go with the ball rather than letting a quarterback read a defense, rather than letting him be in that flow state post-snap where he feels comfortable in the pocket and he's just going through all of those individualistic reads and finding, just the spot he can dice you up perfectly, as we've seen Rodgers do to us many times over. But this is that part I talk about being complicated in Macdonald's scheme. It's complicated because there's all these moving parts on this given play and what he's trying to set up and how he's trying to set the stage. All put up, by the way, on this. You're allowed to accomplish this because you're in that 3rd and 7. It's not a 3rd and 3, not a 3rd and 4. Harder to run those kind of concepts when you're like that, but you get him into the 3rd and long, and now it's going to be game over. Now you're in the wheelhouse for this defensive coordinator of where he's going to get you. But a great play call here. Obviously, an amazing play by Leonard Williams to do this and his athleticism and to get down the field and make this stick beyond just being a great play call. But set up by Mike Macdonald, forcing a legend, forcing a Hall of Famer in their eyes, forcing a guy that's seen every blitz in the book, confusing him as to where it's coming from and who's coming and who's not. Aaron Rodgers is sure with 100% certainty post-snap that there are more than 4 guys coming, I guarantee you. If you put him on the lie detector test, he'd say, there's at least 5, 6 guys coming, I'm sure of it. I looked at it, I'm sure of it. I don't think he would have said at the end of it, or he would have rushed that throw as much, even with Witherspoon coming, if he was as aware that there was only those 4 guys, the 3 on the defensive line, and then Witherspoon coming very late off the edge. But a great play call, one that just hit a little bit different.